Good afternoon, everyone. This is a bit of a different video. I'm actually showing you my creative space in which all my creations happen. I thought I'd give you a little bit of a tour. That's my little chair. Now, what's interesting is that's my chair that I use to create when I'm not filming. But it's way too low because this right here is where I place the camera. I do have the ability to place it right here on top, but I needed some more space to be able to film, so I had to use a different way of filming. So this is my little space. This is how I have it organized. Now, I did reorganize everything. It took me about 3 days, and I had some time off. So this is what I've been doing. So when you see me create a video, this is the area in which I'm working. So I pretty much have everything that I need. Now this is the actual chair that I film in because it sits higher. So it sits higher and puts me above where I can see where everything is placed in the camera range so that I make sure I'm always in frame. So these little drawers here, I have 2 sets, one there and one on the other side. They keep me organized. So instead of, you've seen people have all these little boxes, I don't have all that because that's not how I started out. So I'll give you a little brief tour. I've got different papers and things in these stacked boxes. And then in these drawers, I've got elements, and they're all categorized by type and by theme. So when I'm looking for something specific, then I can go to each individual drawer and I know where the things are located. So what I normally do when I'm going to start out with a theme and I don't know what I'm doing and I'm not using a specific book like Maremi's Small Art or Lisa Wing's Gingerbread Prince, if I'm going off on my own, then I go to these drawers and I shop my stash. So these are all my metal elements. So these are themed by greenery, vintage. These are some more vintage things. So each of these drawers has categories. These are more fun-loving, Alice in Wonderland type things. And these are my flowers and my seals. And I apologize if the camera is shaking. I'm doing this with one hand. So I've got several boxes underneath where I keep my things. This box right here is where I keep the things that I use most, such as scissors, glue, things like that. So I can just reach and grab it if I need it. And that just slides right under there. So this is my next project. The little spring stories from Maremi's Small Art, so I've got that out. I've got a box over here with booklets, individual papers. They're all color themed, organized by color and type. So I have these books here, and they're cattywampus on purpose for room, because if they're stacked back to back, you lose some space. So I've got them alternated. I've got all my paper pads and some journals over here. These are stickers that I don't use very often, but those are all of my paper pads. And it's taken me, I started this journey June 1st of last year. So it's taken me that long to get organizational tools and binders, things like that, to be able to tell what's going to be useful for me, what's going to keep me organized. Whenever I create a journal, I make a mess. I've got paper scraps, bits and bobs everywhere. And I leave it that way when I'm finished. Give myself some shutdown time. Then I go back and reorganize my scraps, things like that. So these drawers have scraps and other things, such as tools, things that I might use. I used to draw. I don't draw anymore. So I've got some things that I used to use for drawing. I've got some extra sets of tweezers and some knife paraphernalia. I have not used those yet. Here's my stamp inks, my little daubers, my block for my silicone stamps. These are some scraps. So I've got these organized so that when I want to start using some scraps or some oddball things, that's all travel. These are categorized by metallics, blacks, and beiges, things like that. So these are all the scraps. I had a scrap basket, and it frustrated me because I had some beautiful scraps that were not really scraps. They were just smaller versions, like this guy right here. So these are all my blues, purples. So when I'm looking for something in the shade that I want it to be in, then I can find it. These are all my butterflies. And more butterflies. I've got these little stacked paper dividers. This is more of my vintage and outdoorsy papers, whether it's got some greenery, foliage, things like that. It's all categorized. These over here are more of your playful, more colorful. Back here is Christmas, so I keep that separated. This is an area for blue, stars, moons, and different papers that are very bold, very graphic. So more of my graphic things are there. So these are my books. These are my Maremi's small art books, my gingerbread prints books. And then I've got some under here, some ribbons and things like that that aren't easy to store. you can see I've jerry-rigged my iPad holder for filming. It's got to be at a certain height. So I took an empty box and a group of stickers I don't use. And if I ever need to use those, I can always just take it down. It's real easy. I've got stamps and washi tapes. This is an area where I can just reach and grab. This right here comes off. It's a drawer. And then if I need washi tapes, I just pull out the whole drawer. It's really nice. I've got these organized too in colors and type. And then this right here, this bottom drawer, is just more for things that I can just grab. Like if I need a pen that's gray, if I need my watercolors, my watercolor palette right here, this little container here, it's got some fake moss in it. And I won't get it open because I can't do it with one hand. So here's some more of my journals. The others are down here, the ones I don't use anymore. So this is my space. This is where I come to create. Of course, that ring light can come on and give me more ambiance. So this is where it all happens. Down here, I think you guys have seen these little jewels, little stones. Those little guys right there. And then in that box back behind me is a box full of nothing but categorized rhinestones, pearls, things like that. So I keep all that there. That way I can just grab it and slide it out when I need it. This desk is wonderful because while I'm creating, my boy sits right here. Right here. He's got that whole length. Of course, when I first bought the desk, that's the first place he went to. I said, okay, that's Oscar's place. That's a portrait of him right there that I was given by a family member for my birthday. But this is Oscar in all his glory. There he is. Oscar. There he is. So this is my space. This is where you see me create. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have enjoyed this mini tour, and I appreciate all of you, and I will see you on the next one.